I'm reading an excerpt from a 24-year-old recent graduate research assistant. I feel scared, alone and helpless because all those things you don't believe in but your family does gets to you when you're constantly surrounded by them. They're my safe pillars now, so even thinking about a future that defies them conflicts one's mind to a point you discard your true self, and I have no idea how to stop being that destructive to myself. I don't know how to reach out to my friends when I'm at these phases. Self-consciousness, petty thoughts, irrational insecurities are few of the common factors which usually creates this divided barrier. I feel like I'm not doing enough, having all the necessary resources to help people who are in need, and sometimes, even when I do that, there's the nagging feeling that it's not enough. The more I utilize the theories, the more I know that my attempts are not significant enough. These feelings and circle of thoughts sometimes goes on for a whole day, maybe two, in a wave pattern. I feel normal when it's a good day. I don't necessarily obsess over being productive or doing something eventful, because just the mere fact that the pressing anxiety is not dominating me is refreshing enough to feel grateful for the small things. So I just enjoy it while I can. It's like having a cup of limited flavored tea in a hotel room.
I'm reading a story from a 24-year-old microbiologist. I have always been an avid reader, but during bad days, I can't even look at a book, let alone read a page of it. I'm one of those people who's always prompt with her replies. I rarely ever ignore messages, but these days I try to not engage as much as possible. I don't engage in conversations where the people would require meaningful replies. I only reply to friends or people who are close to me because I know they wouldn't be offended with my shallow and curt answers. I was never this person.
Something that has made me feel less alone in my mental health journey is unquestionably art. I started painting at the age of 19, right after I received my diagnosis of depression and anxiety. Painting, for me, is a process which empties my mind. I primarily paint abstractly, and for me, art is less about the end result and more about the process in which I choose the colors that I'm drawn to. I apply the gestures and the brush strokes that soothe me. It all led me to come across fluid art, which is a particular kind of painting with liquid colors that I find incredibly stress relieving and therapeutic. It actually led me to host a few art events called Art for the Soul, which mainly aims to reach out to and invite people who don't usually paint or draw, and for them to realize that creativity is innate in every human being and that art can be a very useful tool to manage our emotions.
I've learned a few things about managing anxiety from my own experience, which involves one of the most important things is having a very good routine, waking up in the morning and meditating and praying. Support group meetings, meditations and prayers are everyday things. Support group meetings are online based at this point in time. Going for yoga retreats, going for meditation retreats, working out is a huge part, has been a huge part and continues to be so. Working out in the form of, it could be sports, yoga, or weightlifting. It might sound like a lot of things, but the other end of the spectrum is very dark. So I have to maintain these things on a daily basis, and it helps me manage my anxiety and keeps me happy.